Hi there. In this video, I'm just going to add in a couple more parts to this song. If you're not following along creating the same song as me, then feel free to skip this video, as I won't actually be showing you any new techniques. I'll just be adding in a couple more musical parts. So first of all, I'm just going to delete this clip. This was the clapping clip, and I just don't need that in the song. Now the next thing I want to do is create a new track. I quite like this oscillation guitar that I used previously, and I want to have another part doubling this up. So I'm just going to duplicate this track by right-clicking on it and selecting Duplicate. I'm just going to delete this clip as I'd like a new one. I'm also going to change the colour and rename the track. So I'll use the shortcut Command R or Control R on Windows to rename. I'll call this lead guitar. I might change the name of this as well. Right, now one thing I want to do is change the sound of this instrument very slightly. I'm just going to go over to the device view so I can adjust some of the parameters on my instrument. So I'm going to click on this box in the bottom right here, or use the shortcut Shift and Tab. So all I want to do is increase the amount of reverb for this guitar part. So I'm going to change the reverb amount to 100%, and I'm also going to increase the reverb decay. I'm not going to talk about instrument settings for the moment, but increasing the reverb amount will just make the guitar sound like it's in a bigger space. Right, let's start drawing in some notes. Let's double click and create a new clip. So I want my grid to be set to eighth notes, as I'm going to draw in a repeating eighth note pattern for the guitar. So I'm just going to click on eighth note here under Fix Grid. I'm also going to zoom in vertically very slightly. So I'll click and drag on the left here when the magnifying glass icon appears. This time I want to draw in multiple notes quickly, so I'm going to use the Draw tool. So I'll use the shortcut B. Now I'll click and drag. Right, let's just listen to that back. Okay, that sounds pretty good. I'm just going to adjust the velocity of a couple of these notes. I need to make sure I don't have all of the notes selected, or else, as I just did there, you'll see the velocity goes down for them all. So I'll press Ctrl Z, press B, then I'll click off, and I'll adjust the velocity of some notes. So I'm just going to use the shortcut Command on a Mac or Alt on Windows while I'm hovering the mouse over the note. Then I can click and drag to pull down the velocity. I'm just going to do this for every other note, like I did with the hi-hats earlier on. Now I want to duplicate these notes and have them an octave down as well. So I'm going to highlight them all, hold Control on Windows or Option on a Mac, and drag them down. Right, let's hear that back. Now I'm going to increase the length of this clip so it's 8 bars long. So I'll go to the left here and under length change it to 8. Right, I'm just going to copy these notes and drag them over to bar 2. This time, after the third note, I'm going to move the rest of them down to a C. I'm also going to delete this one note here. I'm going to have the note C repeating for quite a while. So I'm going to use Option and drag again. This is my preferred way to copy notes, but you can do it however you like. Some people like copying and pasting, and some people like using the duplicate feature. I'm going to go back up to an E again at this point. One thing you'll notice here, I've actually missed the note that I was aiming for. So I'm going to select these and bring them down one. To do so, I'll select them all and just press the down arrow key. After the E, I'm going to go up to a G. I'm going to delete one note here. I'm now going to go down to a D. I'm going to delete one note here. Then at 6.3, I'm going to go back to a C. So I'm going to select all of these ones here and drag them over. Now I'm just going to fill out this last bar with the same note once again. Right, let's listen to this. Right, and with the rest of the track. I've just turned down the volume quite a bit using the fader here, as the guitar part was far too loud. Right, now I'm going to draw in one more part to add to the chorus. So I'm going to create a new track this time. So right click, insert MIDI track, as I want a MIDI track. And the sound I want to use was basic brushed bells. I believe this may have been the same as my melody part. I'm just going to click on my melody here and go over to the device view. Oh yeah, it is the same as this part here. So instead, I'm actually going to duplicate that part. I'm going to call this chords. So I'll rename it chords. Give it another colour. And I'm going to delete these clips. Right, so I want to draw this chords part over the chorus. So I'm just going to double click to create a new clip here. And now I'll start writing it in. Once again, I'm not going to be explaining why I'm writing in these notes. I'm just going to draw them in, so feel free to skip if you're not interested. Right, so I'm going to quickly draw in some parts. First of all, I'm going to make sure my grid is on 8th notes. So I'll select this here, fix grid 8th note. Now I'll start drawing in my notes. I'll adjust the velocity of a couple of these. Not going to do it for all of them. And I'm going to change the length of my clip to 8 bars once again. Let's listen back so far. Okay, great. I want this note to be a bit longer. Going over to this next bar. Again, varying the velocity of my notes every now and then. Sometimes I'll copy patterns over to speed up this process and then change the pitch of the notes. Okay, great. That is my MIDI part there. If you'd like to copy it exactly, feel free to pause this video. Or alternatively, if you wish, you can create your own parts. Okay, we now have a few more ideas to help us complete our song. In the next video, I'll I'll show you how to record these ideas onto the timeline to start finalising your song. Let's just have a listen to what we've got so far. Right, so that's all of our ideas that we've got so far. Once we record these into the arrangement view, we'll be able to start finalising our song. Thanks for watching.